How we doing, guys? How was lunch? Good. Very good. I just want to say thank you to all the faculty, everyone that made this possible for me to come here today. Veterans Day is my favorite day of the year, but in Veterans Promise, we have Veterans Day every day, right? As we should. So, a little bit about myself. I served in the 1st 109 Infantry. I deployed to Bosnia and I deployed to Iraq. We lost 6 of our guys in Iraq. Those losses affected my life. They affected how I served. And ultimately, when I came home, I just wasn't the same guy that I was when I was in uniform. Carried a lot of guilt, you know, and that's probably one of the most worthless words or feelings that we can carry within ourselves. You know, I try to live a life now to where if I feel guilty about something, I either got to fix it or I got to get rid of it. If I can't carry it, it's not worth carrying, right? If I can't do something to make it better, I got to let it go. But that guilt led me to a lot of different things. I struggle with PTSD. I struggle with depression. I'm a suicide survivor, and I openly talk about that because our mission is to reduce the suicide rates and the drug and alcohol addiction rates. When I took my uniform off, I thought I was done serving. I thought my service to my country was over. I didn't know who I was anymore. Does that make sense? Right? How many of us, when we wore that uniform, we knew who we were? And then when we came home, I'm not Sergeant Reagan anymore, who am I? So I walked around lost for a long time. And I became depressed. And again, I had those suicide attempts. And I went to a place called the Coatesville VA Medical Center, the PTSD program. And that program saved my life. I was there, I was able to reinvest into myself and find who I am as a person. So, once I started to get better and recover, I knew that I needed to be in service of others. In order for me to be okay, I needed to still serve in some capacity. So I started to get involved. And I started to realize I was losing a lot of my friends here on the home front, here after they deployed multiple times. And a lot of those families were left behind stigmatized. And there was really no one doing that much for them. So that is the reason why we founded Veterans Promise. We'll be 3 years old this November. Bill's my drug and alcohol lead. He does wonderful stuff. We're doing a weekly drug and alcohol meeting each week on Tuesdays. Soon we'll be doing Thursdays. We have a whole bunch of other groups. Wendy's one of our advocates. Trying to change our community. Each month we do a candlelight vigil on the 22nd in honor of the veterans that we lose each day. You notice these colors here. These are our colors that fly in our building. Each one of these streamers represents one of the veterans that is on our wall of heroes. We bring that with us everywhere we go, so that those losses are never forgotten. Those legacies will live on. Those families will know that their loved ones have a place that they could come and get compassion and be able to have a sense of community and not be left behind. But today is Veterans Day, right? So what is a veteran? Anybody?
A great guy.
A great guy. Anybody else? Anyone got a definition of a veteran?
Someone who places himself between the forces of evil and us.
That's a pretty good definition. I'll add one piece to that, right? So we're going to place ourselves between evil and the safety of our country, right? What's the other part of that, though? At what cost? At what cost do we do that? We write a check that's unpayable, can never be repaid for what we give up. Unfortunately, some people in this room have learned that lesson very hard in this room. But we do it because we love our nation, and we love our country, and we love our brothers and sisters to the left and right of us, right? If we're not constantly doing things to improve our country, if we're not constantly doing things to make sure that we're remembering why the service and sacrifice of so many means so much, we're losing who we are, right? So it's important that we take, even though Veterans Day is that one day a year, it's important that we take time to recognize what we as veterans have given. You know, in the nonprofit world, I have a lot of people that want to help, right? And some people will say to me, well, I'm not a veteran, so I can't help. And I think to myself, well, just because you didn't wear the uniform doesn't mean you can't help. Because if you're a patriot, and you love your country, and you love what this country stands for, and you're willing to give time, effort, sometimes money, whatever it is, you can make a difference. You know? So there's a lot of ways to serve. To me, when I took the uniform off, like I said, I thought my service to our nation was over. But it's not. I have a new mission. My mission is to reduce and not add any more names to our flag and our wall. My mission is to help my brothers and sisters have a better quality of life. You know, we come home, we're not the same. So we got to find a way to better relate with our families, with the people that employ us, with our neighbors, with our children. That stuff is hard, isn't it? Because even if you didn't serve, you still struggle with that stuff. Isn't that true? Who's got a perfect family here? Come on. Anybody? None of us, right? So we all have a mission. We all have things that we have to do that are important. But geez, who is given more for our country than our veterans? Nobody, right? So I'll read a quote from my favorite president, you know, President Reagan. And I'll have a little backside on it. So he said, some people live an entire lifetime and wonder if they ever made a difference in the world. A Marine doesn't have that problem. But I think it's not just Marines, it's all veterans. Because we did make a difference. Someone had to do our job if we weren't there. No matter what you did, in any branch of the service, no matter what your job was, it all counts and it all means something. So, you know, at Veterans Promise, that's how we operate. You know, it doesn't matter if you didn't deploy. It doesn't matter if you didn't do the things that you felt were so important. It all counts, right? We got to get rid of this competition and this one-upsmanship. When we do that, it only hurts us. You know? That's about all I got today. Again, I thank you so much for having me. You know, there's pamphlets about Veterans Promise. If you have any questions or anything, we'll be sitting over here. And again, you know, all you gentlemen that serve, and, you know, ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you for your service. Welcome home. You know, enjoy the day. And remember, we don't have to do this just today. We can do this every day. Right? Thank you so much.